Hi friends and fellow flute enthusiasts, thanks for tuning in to Jonny's Flute Reviews. I'm Jonny Lipford, and since 2002 I've dedicated myself to everything flute. I teach, perform, and record full-time with the Native American Flute. I post videos here on YouTube covering flute tips, tutorials, original songs, and cover songs to showcase how versatile the Native American flute is. If you're new here and interested in becoming a more emotive flute player, or you just love listening to the sounds of the Native American flute, be sure you subscribe and hit that little bell so you're notified every time a new video drops. Now, let's dive into a flute from my personal collection. Welcome back. In this episode of Jonny's Flute Reviews, we're looking at a flute made by Brad Young of Four Wind Flutes. This is in the key of A minor. It's made from sassafras, and the end caps here, the mouthpiece on the side, and the block are made from mango. I really love mango wood. It's almost, if you get a really nice piece of mango, it's almost like someone went with a highlighter every once in a while and just drew on it. It gets this little yellow striation in it, but a very beautiful wood. Brad has made some flutes all the way out of mango, not just end caps. So it's pretty cool wood. So here we have a bass A minor flute. You will find in the market bass flutes that are end blown. So you'll play them this way, and every once in a while you'll find them to be side blown like this. Now, my preference for this one, it doesn't bother me if this one were end blown. I could handle that. My hand stretch wouldn't limit me that way. But it is comfortable having that mouthpiece moved around to the side. It brings the flute closer. It brings my elbow back. And so people, particularly women who have smaller hands, and some men who just struggle to reach some of those the last finger hole is usually the hang up. By having it on the side, it brings it a little closer to me, and so it makes it incredibly comfortable. So no longer am I struggling to reach that last hole there. And so just to kind of give you a taste of what this flute sounds like, this is it. And again, this is in a dry environment. There is no reverb or anything added to this. Here we go. Now, let's work with some of those cross fingerings and upper register notes. They come in clear, they come in without a lot of effort. I do, students that I work with, we talk a lot about the shape of the mouth and how velocity changes when you need to go for that upper register note. You change things inside your mouth, go into more of an ooh shape, and it increases the velocity in which the air flows through your mouth, and you're also not giving it any chance to come back. So we talk about back pressure as well. I have another video on, two videos that you should check out after watching this, are tips for playing bass flutes. If you have a bass flute and you're struggling to get some of those, just reaching it, or you're getting some squeaks or things like that, tips for playing bass flutes, and also 5 tips that will dramatically improve your flute playing overall. We talk about dynamics in that as well, so phrasing and also hitting some of those upper register notes and changing the shape of your mouth. So this flute I've added to my collection. I picked this one up on the road while I was at the Ohio Indigenous Music Festival in Springboro, Ohio this past August. So this is a relatively new flute for me. I've done a little bit of recording with it. I did the Harry Potter song with it back in October, and I'm looking forward to doing more recording with this particular flute. So again, it's Brad Young, Four Wind Flutes. He's based out of Central Florida, and if you are contacting him about a bass flute, let him know that you saw this video, and he's always happy to hear where folks are coming in from. So before we get out of here, I do want to mention that there are some links in the description below to some resources that'll help you along your flute journey. And be sure you subscribe so you're notified when a new video comes out, including a flute review or a cover song or an original song or a flute tutorial. I do those occasionally here on YouTube as well. So thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Jonny's Flute Reviews. We've got a lot more flutes to go through, and as you can see, I'm always adding flutes to my collection. So thank you, flute makers, for giving us tools to play with. It's a lot of fun to add a new flute to the collection. So stick around and we'll see you next time.